Hello everyone, this is Brett. Last week I posted a video on some interesting titles that I found on the RSD Record Store Day 2023 US and UK list. If you missed that video, I'll leave a link for it in the description. So today I thought I'd just kind of do a little bit of a retrospective on some of my favorite releases that came out as part of Record Store Day over the years. But first, if you are new to my channel and haven't already subscribed, please click that subscribe button and let's kick things off. So, as I mentioned, favorite past releases from Record Store Day. I chose these based on A, the musical content, of course, that's always first and foremost. B, just if these were things that were super hard to find on vinyl or way out of print, or even first-time vinyl reissue releases of these albums, and also things that were compiled for Record Store Day that are just not available anywhere else. So I'm going to go alphabetical with these, and let's kick things off with "And Also the Trees." This was part of Record Store Day 2020, the August drop. The original "And Also the Trees" album came out in 1984. This is some UK post-punk goth produced by Lowell Tolhurst of The Cure. It includes a ton of bonus tracks, one of them being this cassette-only demo release that Robert Smith from The Cure had mixed. And this was put out, the reissue was put out on Graveface Records, this Georgia-based label record store that I'll be speaking about a little bit more, but they did an amazing job with this gatefold 2-record set matching the artwork and the name of the band, and also the trees with the green and black splatter. This one it's the first ever vinyl reissue, so it hasn't been available since it came out in 1984. It's the first time it's been available in the US, and it was limited to 2,000 copies. I want to just mention one song that is definitely worth checking out, because this is not available on streaming, but I'm sure you could find it on YouTube, but it is also available digitally on Bandcamp. Most of the "And Also the Trees" stuff is super out of print on physical format and very hard to find. But the song "Out of the Moving Life of Circles," definitely check that one out. And I'm going to just mention also, Sarah and I categorize our music by genre in our collection. So when we're looking for a certain, mood on a certain day, we go to that section and we pick from there, which is really convenient. So this one is definitely categorized in our post-punk goth section. I also want to mention that "And Also the Trees" released, and they've been steadily releasing things since their beginning. And their most recent album from last year, "The Bone Carver," was a top 10 album on both mine and Sarah's list. So I'll leave a link to that 2002 Best Albums video if you're interested. "And Also the Trees," that is the number, that's the first one here alphabetically. Okay, let me just get a little organized because this next one has a ton of content with it. So next up is another reissue from Graveface Records. And this is the reissue of "Blind Mr. Jones," Stereo Musicale, UK shoegaze. I think of them as Baroque shoegaze just because they feature a flute player. Very underrated, very unknown. They often get overshadowed by the bigger names in shoegaze like My Bloody Valentine and Ride. So this is their debut album, Stereo Musicale, came out in 1992. They only put out one other album after this called "T.A.T.u," and that came out in 1994, and then that was it. So it's really cool that as part of Record Store Day, Graveface, put this out, because it's just totally worthy of being in your collection. And surprisingly, even though this was limited to like 750 copies, you can still find this for really cheap. So if you like shoegaze and you're unfamiliar with Blind Mr. Jones, definitely check this out. So let's just do a quick little run through of this. It's a gatefold also. You can see the sleeve or the front cover is die cut. So if you pull out the insert, you'll just see that there's just some empty holes there. It includes, that's what the original cover looked like. And these are the inner sleeves. It has a bunch of bonus stuff, all the stuff that was recorded during the sessions for this album. 2 records. One is on clear with this red little ribbony whiffs in here, and the other one I think is red. It also includes a bonus 7-inch that are on random colors. Mine is on this Oxblood. This is available on streaming, but it doesn't have the bonus content. So yeah, and we categorize this one in our shoegaze dream pop section. So first time being reissued since its release back in 1992. So that is Blind Mr. Jones. All right, the third one here. Thanks to my friend John Staff's Owl here in the VC, who tracked this one down for me. This one was from, the Blind Mr. Jones was an RSD 2017 release. So next up, this is Bill Fay, Time of the Last Persecution. For those of you unfamiliar with Bill Fay, I guess you could categorize him as a folk singer, singer-songwriter. He put out 2 albums in 1970, self-titled, and then 1971. And the label dropped him. He was on Darum. Label dropped him, and he didn't put anything new out until he did record something, and it was released in the mid-2000s. But these, for the first 2 albums of his, are super rare, super hard to find. This is the 50th anniversary. And if you look for originals of this, the median on Discogs is in excess of $1,100, so super hard to find. So I was really happy when the RSD put this out, RSD UK, in 2021. It was only limited to 700 copies, comes on black vinyl. This is available on streaming, so if you want to check it out. But I just want to give a little extra recommendation here, because I think the best place to start, if you're unfamiliar with Bill Fay, is Life is People from 2012. This is just an absolutely emotional, incredible album, and it was my #1 favorite album from back in 2012. So definitely check out Life is People if you can't track down Time of the Last Persecution. So yeah, so that is Bill Fay with number 3 there. All right, number 4. Let's keep this organized. So another one that I was so super excited because this one never came out on vinyl. And strangely, their first album, the second album got put out before the first one on vinyl. So this is Love Spit Love. Who is Love Spit Love? That's Richard Butler, the singer of the Psychedelic Furs. So when the Furs put out their last album in their original run in 1991, Richard Butler formed this new band, Love Spit Love. They put out 2 records, the self-titled one from 1994, and then this one, Try Some, Eat One. And this is, as I mentioned in the beginning, first time ever on vinyl. So it came out back in 97. This was part of RSD 2021, the June drop. It came out on this really, really beautiful black swirl. Love Spit Love and Psychedelic Furs. So some favorite tracks on this one. Fall on Tears is absolutely great. Believe, just an excellent record. Hurts When I Laugh, all great. So this one was limited to 2,000 copies. It is available on streaming, so you can check it out if you're unfamiliar. And we file this one in our classic alternative section. All right, next up. For those of you that know me, know that I am a huge Graham Parsons fan. And back in 2014, this came out, which is titled 180 Gram. And you're like, why do they call the weight of the record on there? Well, it's Graham Parsons, 180 Gram. Get it? And this is alternate takes from GP and Grievous Angel. So if you're unfamiliar with Graham Parsons, kind of country rock, cosmic American music as it was branded at the time, Graham Parsons started his career off in a band called the International Submarine Band. Then he joined the Byrds for the Sweetheart of the Rodeo album back in 1968, formed the Flying Burrito Brothers. They recorded 2 albums, and then he did 2 solo records, most famously with Emmylou Harris. And then he passed away before the second one was even released. So his first solo album was called GP, after his name, and the second one, Grievous Angel, in 1973 and 1974. So what's really cool about this is these are all alternate takes from those sessions. So I know those albums inside and out. When I listen to this, I just sing all the harmonies and vocals along with it. And what's fascinating about it is like these are truly alternate takes. So Emmylou's harmonies are different. Graham's phrasing's different. Sometimes the instrumentation is different. The guitar solos are different. So it's really fascinating. And this came out as a limited edition of 3,000 copies. This is the first time ever on vinyl collected like this. What do I got? Number 369. And Graham Parsons had died at the Joshua Tree Inn in Joshua Tree, California. And a little tribute there on the back. Also, the last side 4 on this one has 3 songs that were outtakes from The Grievous Angel, which weren't included on the album. Brand New Heartache, Sleepless Nights, amazing, and The Angels Rejoiced Last Night. And I wanted to show this release because those 3 songs were collected, the officially released version on this collection of like outtakes called Sleepless Nights. And this included songs from outtakes from the Flying Burrito Brothers, and then those 3 outtakes from the Grievous Angel sessions. But those are 3 different versions then are on this one as far as I recall. So limited to 3,000, as I mentioned, not available on streaming as this collection, and foil numbered, black vinyl, and we filed this one in our classic country section. So that's Graham Parsons, 180 gram. Alternate takes from GP and Grievous Angel. I highly recommend this one if you can find a copy of that. It's a really cool release. Next up, I know I showed this one back in my 19 best albums of 1993 video. This is the debut from Perry Farrell's Porno for Pyros. This came out in 1993 after the initial breakup of Jane's Addiction. Featured drummer Stephen Perkins, also of Jane's Addiction, Martin Lenoble on bass, Peter DiStefano on guitar. Porno for Pyros went on to release only one other album, but last year they reunited for a show, and there were talks about some new music being recorded. So I look forward to that. This was sent to me back in 2013. This is an RSD 2013 from my friend Anthony down in Australia as some VCLT. This was limited to 1,000 copies. This is the UK one. The American one came on a tie-dye. I remember my friend Dream Pop Jesse, we waited in line that morning, and the guy right in front of me grabbed that. So it was just heartbreaking not to get this, and then Anthony found a copy down in Australia and sent this to me. So I'm always grateful, and I always think of him whenever I pull this one out. It was the 20th anniversary reissue, and classic alternative, and it is available on streaming if you are unfamiliar, want to check it out. Of course, it has that song Pets on it, but other favorites, Sadness, Cursed Female is so great. So that is Porno for Pyros from Record Store Day 2013. Next up, this one was part of the August drop in RSD 2020, originally released in 2005. This is the second album from Robyn, self-titled. And when it came out in Sweden in 2005, it had, I should say when it finally came out on CD in US, it had a different artwork. So this is the original artwork that came out on the original Swedish release. It's the first vinyl reissue, the first time on vinyl in US. Includes a cover of a Prince song, limited to 2,000 copies, and it is available on streaming. You just don't get the bonus track from what I recall. Gatefold. And what's interesting, that's right, I forgot about this. I remember when I shot the video for the Record Store Day, when we found these back in, 2020? I noticed that if you look at the pictures that are on here, you're like, wow, they just all are the same. But then when you look close, the person is actually different, or they altered the face. Strange, but cool. And there's even on the inner sleeves there. And these are on red vinyl. If you're unfamiliar with Robyn, just really kind of electronic, synth-pop-ish, clever lyrics. I got to see her live, and she was fantastic. Cobra Style, I think that's a cover of that the Teddy Bears. Dream On is a great track. Yeah, Robyn. Was super happy when this one got put out. And that was limited to 2,000 if I didn't mention. All right, next up, what are we at? I think we're at number 8. Oh my God, why can't I turn this? Technical difficulties here. When you have musician fingers, your fingers are heavily calloused, so it's hard to turn pages. And I don't know if you ever go to the grocery store and those produce bags that you try to open, those plastic ones, I can never open them. All right, next up. So this one came out 2021 July drop. This was really surprisingly just excellent. Not surprisingly, because the Sisters of Mercy are a great band, but just how cool this is and how great it sounds. So this is the Sisters of Mercy, Leeds, England, goth rock, and this collected their BBC sessions from 1982 to 1984. This is the first physical release ever of this. It is a 2-record set, but the third side is just completely blank. Not an etching, it's just clear. But it is on Smoky. And if you didn't watch that RSD 2023 video that I mentioned in the beginning, there is another Sisters of Mercy release coming out, and it's a reissue of the Reptile House EP, which has some songs from their early days prior to their first album. So this was limited to 4,000 copies. Not all of them are available on streaming. I think that includes 3 sessions, and I think 2 of the 3 sessions are available for streaming. It has 3 cover songs: 1969, the Stooges cover. It has Dolly Parton's Jolene, and then Emma, which from the band Hot Chocolate. Just a great version of that song as well. And you get some songs that are early versions before they came out on their first album, First and Last and Always. So you have Wayne Hussey, who later formed The Mission, on guitar. The B-side Poison Door, which is especially great. And then you have those early songs like Alice, Floor Show, Heartland, which is great. But the sound quality on this is excellent. So if you can find a copy of this also, definitely grab this. And this is, of course, in our post-punk goth section. All right, next up, this one was just from last year on the June drop, and Sun's Signature. So Sun's Signature is the new project from Elizabeth Fraser of the Cocteau Twins with their partner Damon Reese, who played drums with Spiritualized and Massive Attack. So Elizabeth Fraser has not really released anything other than collaborations and such in many years. The Cocteau Twins put out their last album, I think it was in 1996. So there hasn't been this much content that came out at once in years. So this is just a 5-song, I think it is, EP. Black vinyl, limited to 8,000 copies. So far, it's the only physical release of it. This is absolutely stellar. The more I listen to it, the more I just love it. Her vocals are just perfection. Definitely check it out. Underwater is so great. I mean, the whole thing, it's just splendid is the appropriate word. All right, we categorize this, we put this in our shoegaze dream pop section. All right, and then last up, was so excited to when this one was announced. We went to our store, we couldn't get a copy, but Sarah was able to track one down. And this is the first ever vinyl issue of this album that came out all the way back in 2002. Includes the uncensored track listing with the original artwork, and that is the debut from t.A.T.u, 200 kilometers in the wrong lane. Who remembers t.A.T.u? This album is so fun. The songs are great, high energy electronic music. The duo from Russia includes Not Gonna Get Us, All the Things She Said, which are just such powerful songs. The Smiths cover How Soon Is Now. You got Malchik Gay, Show Me Love. So happy to have this. It's such a fun record. And this one was released on this, what's called Coke Bottle Clear, which always has that green hue to it. That limited to 2,000 copies, and you can listen to this streaming, so it is up and available. And we put this one in our Synth-pop industrial. We kind of have a merge catalog of all that kind of stuff because there's so much crossover in that. So anyways, that was 10 of my favorite record store day releases of all time. I look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts. What are some that you've loved, that are your favorites? Leave some comments. We'll chat. All right, thank you for watching.